Nerdy Witch here, and today's video is actually part of my dollar store Wicca series, and we are going to be making dream catchers. The one in the video is one that I'm making for Evelyn's first birthday, and I plan on giving it to her as a present. So let's dive into a little bit about the history of dream catchers, and then I will show you how to make one. So full disclosure, I've had to refilm this opening because I was unhappy with the first one. I struggled a bit with this one because I am white upon white upon white. However, I persevere nonetheless. So let's talk about this a little bit. I will remind you that I went to the University of Pitt main campus in Oakland, and I dual majored in not only the history of art and architecture, but also in religious studies, and I took several courses on Native American lifeways. It's a way of being, a sense of faith that appeals very strongly to me because it is so ingrained in everything that you do, every second of your day. You almost don't even think about it, especially not in the Western Christian sense of the word. It's not organized to just a building. It's literally everything that you do. Dream catchers really appealed to me because if you saw You Might Be a Kitchen Witch, vivid dreams are a big part of me and my practice. So there's some common themes with dream catchers. They tend to have to do with the spirit world and also with spiders, the sun, and nature. Native Americans can have a perception that the spirit world is around us and it's just an everyday occurrence, and it's something that you approach with a certain intuition and a certain respect. Most people, the spirit world will only be able to play out in a person's dreams. Dream catchers were first documented in 1929 with the Ojibwe tribes. There was an ethnographer called Frances Densmore. I probably butchered her name, but I feel like she made a sincere attempt to try to approach the subject with love and veneration. The webs are thought to ensnare energy in a room, and then the bad energy is then burned off by the sunlight, and the good energy then drips down the feathers into an infant while they're sleeping. It's most common for a grandparent or a mother to be charged with making one for their relative. Dream catchers gained popularity in 1960, and that's when they really became mass-produced for profit and became something that is tacky. They are made from items that are synthetic, machined, and not part of the natural circle of life. They tend to be meaningless because they didn't have the time and the care put into them that a handcrafted item really needs. You need an intentional understanding of a dream catcher to really truly make one. According to custom, it is the maker of the dream catcher must meditate upon the stories of the 7 fires during construction. According to the lore, changes were coming, and the 7 prophets had descended with prophecies of the coming years. They knew that their people were going to be scattered and a destruction was coming to the land. However, out of this destruction, the new people would be born and seek to continue the voice of the ancestors. A lot of this also comes out of the Spider-Woman lore, and she needed a way to be able to identify her people and take care of the children that were being born into this new kind of world. The Cherokee and Lakota also adopted the practice of making dream catchers, but they elaborated on the designs, and they used numerology as symbolism, and then they adorned them with beads and feathers. Dream catchers are a touchy subject because they should be made with a person's unique imprint and never be represented as a true Native American artifact. They are art, they are magic, they are intention, they are tradition, and that should be respected. So it's really important to make your own. I struggled with this one because I come from a Polish-Italian background. There's also some Irish, some German, and something else. I can't quite recall right now. I need to do that 23andMe to find out more specifically. However, I do not have any Native American in me whatsoever. However, my husband is 40% Cherokee. In fact, I don't even say it correctly. He says it like Cherokee, I think is how he says it. Evelyn is named after her Cherokee grandmother. So in their family, it's actually tradition to make presents, mobiles, dream catchers, and handmade items for small babies. That is why I have chosen this for Evelyn's first birthday. I have not only gifted one to my husband, but to all my children and a few of my dear friends. In fact, 3 of my friends are also Native American that I have gifted to dream catchers, and I have been making them with their blessing because, again, intention is so important to me, and my own unique point of view is also really important and really comes across in these dream catchers. So let me show you how I make mine, keeping in mind that I am a kitchen witch and that I crochet and I'm on a budget. So this is how I make them. So if you watched my last video, you saw it was really easy to find a wreath. Really all you need is a circle, and you can cover that in yarn if you want to. I like using the wood since that's more of an homage to a traditional dream catcher. Then, of course, since I knit and I crochet, I have lots of yarn lying around. So I tend to use a small hook like this so that I can do a tiny doily. Then you just need some flowers, maybe some ribbons, feathers, and scissors. Of course, I've also used my trusty hot glue gun, so let me show you that process now. My hoop is ready to go, and I've already created a doily out of this yarn, in which I've already showed you because I'm a professional, and this very tiny crochet hook. You have to watch your doily size because if it's too large when it stretches from being attached, it won't be very tight. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove this tag. Now I'm going to attach with a simple wrapping method, and I'm going to go ahead and feed through my 12 connection points. I chose the number 12 because 12 is the symbol of cosmic order. 12 is the number of space and time. There are 12 months in a year, 2 sets of 24 hours in a day, 12 houses of the zodiac. So it seemed like a great place to start for Evelyn's first birthday Dreamcatcher. Number 12 can be found in all cultures and religions in Europe. The number 12 reflects the ancient meaning of the perfect number. 4 elements times 4 corners of the earth times 4 cardinal points multiplies out to sacred numbers, and therefore the perfect number. I used the extra yarn to create a slip knot so that I could hang my Dreamcatcher on the wall. I also find that it's a lot more easy to hang up the Dreamcatcher when I'm working on it. You
know me, the professional, this is my technique to make the long strands at the bottom of the Dreamcatcher. I just keep wrapping around until I feel like I have enough weight or bulk for the project that I'm working on, and then I make one single cut. I'll separate out the groups of strands for the bottom of the Dreamcatcher later when I'm ready to attach them. If you don't mind counting, this is a great time to add more number meanings to your piece. Here I've hung up my Dreamcatcher, and because I'm a professional, I have a hard time creating the slip knots in the direction that I want them to go. So I will flip the piece over and backwards so that I can get the knot lined up properly. Please keep in mind that when you crochet a Dreamcatcher, the front is definitely going to be different from the back. This is a great time to think about using some knot magic, also known as cord magic, where you can cast spells by using the physical act of tying or untying knots to bind or release during spells. Generally, knot magic only requires a piece of string, but witches can use twine, yarn, thread, or ribbons, or anything you have on hand. Many witches choose cord, but I particularly like yarn, mostly because I have an abundance of it lying around the house. For example, you can use this as a healing spell to bind bad dreams or any discomfort during teething. I attached this yarn in 3 different points on the Dreamcatcher. On larger pieces I'll go up to 5 because 3 and 5 are also very strong numbers for me. I didn't pick the best angle to film this particular shot, but here I'm going to show you where the knots should be placed and what they look like. Here I'm going through to add 2 more points to the bottom with pink ribbon. I chose pink because it represents love, compassion, and understanding of the self and the love of others. Pink is a very feminine color and is romantic, affectionate, and kind. It can also incite more sensitivity when it is a light shade of pink. It is a very loving energy, and it is a non-threatening color. Don't take it for granted because pink can still pack a punch. Now I'm going through and ripping the flowers off of this bouquet that I had purchased. I'm trying to find my placement before I hot glue them down. It's really hard to come up with a final design here because less is more. If you use too many, you're going to cover up all your hard work. But I feel like flowers are a symbol of the sacred feminine, and I wanted to make sure to incorporate them into my design. Pale pink roses are a symbol of admiration, sympathy, and maidenhood, all things that I associate with the maiden form of the goddess. Roses can be seen as a protective agent as well and can be added to charms to ward off the evil eye. They're traditionally used in love spells, and I figure there's no greater love than a mother than for her child. I would also like to add that I used yellow because it represents the air element in Wiccan tradition. It is also a color of intellect, of thoughts, communication, creativity, logic, and progress. This is a wonderful color to use when trying to do dream work and spells. Dreamcatchers themselves also have a representation of the sun by using a hoop, so I just wanted to reinforce that with the yellow color. To attach the feathers, I'm only going to do a simple 3-strand braid. I like to place mine asymmetrically across from the roses. Once you have your braid completed, all you need to do is slip the feather in between the sections of the braid in an accordion manner. You can also reinforce them with a little bit of glue if you're afraid they're going to slip out. Feathers are often used to focus concentration into spells. Also ruled by air, they're the perfect finishing touch to this Dreamcatcher. Here it is, all completed and hung up on the wall. Babies generally don't remember their first birthday, so I think that this is the perfect gift to honor her first year of life. I didn't want to bog her down with opening too many store-bought presents.
So that's it. It's a pretty simple process. Most of my time and meditation was wrapped up in crocheting the doily for the center. I hope that you found this information useful and that you can find inspiration to create your own Dreamcatchers. Please tag me on Instagram so that I can see your beautiful designs. Also, I would love if you commented down below. If there's something that you would do different or something else that you would love to see, I need to hear it. This is also a great time to subscribe because I have a few more videos lined up for my Dollar Store Wicca series. And lastly, I'm inviting you to have pleasant dreams tonight. I want you to pay attention and see what the spirit world is saying to you while you're unconscious. I also hope that you are inspired to share your love and your gifts with other people. Handmade presents are literally the best thing that you can give anyone. So with that being said, I would invite you to take care. Blessed be and bye, witches.